taking the Get a Grip series of graphics here, we're going to look at a different way of looking at the cylinder. For example, this time we're going to start with an ellipse and a center point. Now, for this section of graphics, we're going to use what we're going to refer to as a St. Andrew's cross, these sloping diagonal lines going through the center point, which are going to give us our two axes for this. Now, the problem with cylinders is there are no corners other than the top and bottom edge. So we're going to use these to divide it into 12. What I'm doing at the moment is I'm taking the nearest quarter and dividing that into thirds. So I've just jot on 12, 3, 6 and 9 around the outside as a clock face would have. That would give me 4 o'clock and 5 o'clock. Now if I draw a line between these points going through the center, they will give me a proportional line up with 10 o'clock. And if I take 5 through the center, it should give me a position for the equivalent of 11 o'clock on a clock face. Now if I do the same thing on the left hand side and go for third divisions, a little like dividing up a cake, we can go through the center and we'll end up with 12 equal wedge type slices through the center. 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, we've got the run through there, 7 and 8. So we've got the full 12 divisions as you would have for the generators on a more complex say drawing board exercise. So what we're going to do now is going to join certain points up, missing every second one out. So rather than having 12 points, I'll have 6 points, making a hexagon. This hexagonal shape will fit AC across the corners, AC standing for across the corners, inside that cylinder. So the cylindrical form was the ellipse, dividing into 12 and taking every second one. Now while I've got this position, I can look at some other divisions. For example, if I divide it into 3-sided shape, so I'm just going for every fourth number, 12, 4 and 8, you can see a triangle's built up in top. And if I do the same thing but start at say 6 and go back to 2 and then 6 to 10, 4 unit divisions in between each one, you can see a second triangle. In fact, you may even see a star created of the overlap of those two triangles. So there's a lot of geometric shapes and patterns we can recreate in 3 dimension using this basic geometric division of 12. Taking vertical lines from the widest points and the center, I'm now going to try and fit in a fairly rounder, we should know this by now, this chunkier, rounder, fatter ellipse for the lower part of a cylinder, drawn in perspective sketching. And then for each of the points on the corners, I'm just going to project these down as you may understand the concept of generators hanging on the edge of an outside of a cylinder. Remember, these lines don't exist, they're imaginary, but they give us some reference points. So if I take the sweeten off this curve on the underside, so I've got this upper curve and lower curve, I think we can just about see the cylinder on the top, the circular part, the elliptical part. You can see the bottom one. Let's maybe now say, right, let's take the idea of a 6-sided shape, this hexagon, and I'm going to take straight lines joining those every second number, like I did on the top. So between 2 and 4 o'clock here, straight line joining those two together. I should see 3 surfaces if I'm lucky, and I'm just catching the edge of this one on the left hand side. I can put some other detail on the inside of this, but just for the moment, as we're doing this for the first time, I'm going to firm in with a slightly different grip and a different pen the outline of this hexagonal prism. Hexagonal prism. So the construction was an ellipse, St. Andrew's cross. That's going to give us our axes, then thirds, but projecting through the center. That'll give us a corresponding point at the far side. And then with those divisions, we can, in this case, decide to pick up every second one, and we'll end up with this hexagonal prism type form. Enjoy your sketching. A little bit at the end here, we can actually just ghost in where the hidden detail, those back edges might be if we were to cut something like this up and make a more interesting form later on.